With us now, CBS News legal analyst Jack Ford. Jack, good morning.
Charlie, good morning.
This is clearly surprising. Where are we now?
Well, where are we now is we are completely back to square one. The square one of the earlier square one, if you would. If you remember, she's had two trials already in Italy. The first one where she was convicted. The second one where under their appellate process, again, very different from our appellate process, she got a second trial. New witnesses, new lawyers, new judges and jurors and all of that. That's where she was found not guilty. She walks out the door, she comes home here. Their justice system in Italy allowed that court, the Supreme Court, to go back and throw that acquittal out. Can't do that in our justice system. If you're found not guilty by a jury trial, that's it, you walk home. But again, very different. Now what they've said is we're essentially going back to the very beginning here. The prosecutors will decide if they're going to retry her. You have to believe they will, otherwise why would they have gone through this process all the way up to here? So, new trial, big question, as Mark just said, is Amanda Knox in that courtroom for the new trial?
And what are your thoughts on that?
If I'm her lawyer, Gail, I'm saying there's no way in the world I'm letting you go back to Italy to be tried here. She posted bail and she left, and everybody believed, I think, at that time that she was not going to come back. Now, here's the interesting thing. They can try her in absentia, just because she's not there. If you voluntarily absent yourself from a courtroom, you can still be tried there. So, and go through the whole process. Her lawyers can be there. They can cross-examine witnesses. And at the end of that, this whole process could once again say not guilty, or they could say guilty. At which point now you have an entirely new set of legal questions, and that is whether or not she gets extradited back for that.
Okay, so the question is exactly what is the Italian court saying now? What he thinks about the prosecution and its case?
Well, you've got two different prosecutions, if you would. The first one, an appellate court said they didn't do a good job, so do it again. That happened. Now, the Supreme Court, Italian Supreme Court, is saying there were problems in the second trial, the way it was handled. So we're going to tell you go back and do it again and clean up the mess that you made the first two times. Try to do it better this time is what the suggestion, but doesn't mean that you wouldn't go through an entire process once again here, depending upon what the verdict is.
No double jeopardy there.
Yeah. It's different. That's sort of a law school class to talk about that, but she gets another shot of the apple. She did, and now the prosecution gets another bite of the apple.
Thank you, Jack.